It is 1:17 a.m. Your body is begging for sleep. Your eyes are dry. Your neck hurts. Your phone is slowly sliding out of your hand because your fingers have lost the will to live. And then you do something remarkable. You keep scrolling. Not because the video is important, not because the next post contains life-changing information. It is probably a man explaining a sandwich, someone organizing a refrigerator with the emotional intensity of a war documentary, or a stranger making a point in a comment section with the confidence of a Supreme Court justice. But you keep watching. You know you should sleep. You know tomorrow morning is going to be awful. You know that when your alarm goes off, you will stare at the ceiling with the face of someone who has personally been betrayed by time. And yet, tonight, once again, you choose the tiny glowing rectangle. Most people think this is a self-control problem. You are lazy. You are undisciplined. You just need to put the phone down and go to bed like a responsible adult. Which is a nice theory. Unfortunately, your brain did not read the productivity book. Because the reason you stay up too late is not just that you want more entertainment. It is that a part of your brain believes the night belongs to you. All day, your time is taken from you. You wake up when the alarm says so. You work when someone else expects you to. You answer messages you did not ask to receive. You sit in traffic. You attend meetings that could have been emails, and then answer emails that somehow become meetings. By the time the day is technically over, almost none of it felt fully yours. Then night arrives. No one needs you. No one is asking questions. No one is scheduling anything. The world finally shuts up. And your brain looks around at this quiet little pocket of freedom and says, absolutely not. We are not wasting this on unconsciousness. This is what psychologists often call revenge bedtime procrastination. It is the habit of delaying sleep, not because you have to, but because you want to reclaim personal time that the day never gave you. The revenge part sounds dramatic, but it makes sense. You are not taking revenge on your boss, your inbox, your responsibilities, or the economy. You are mostly taking revenge on your own future self, which is unfair because that person has done nothing wrong except be scheduled for 7 a.m. But emotionally, it works. For a few hours, you are free. No deadlines. No expectations. No one asking if you have 5 minutes, which in adult language means please donate part of your soul. At midnight, you can finally do whatever you want. Watch a video. Read something pointless. Play a game. Scroll through strangers' lives. Fall into a comment section where 2 people are having a legal trial over pasta. It is not always fun. Exactly. Sometimes you are not even enjoying it. But it is yours. And that is the trap. Sleep is not experienced as rest. Sleep starts to feel like surrender. Like handing over the only part of the day that still belonged to you. So you stay awake, not because you hate sleep, but because going to sleep means tomorrow gets to start. And tomorrow has emails. This is the first reason you keep staying up. You are trying to take back control. But there is a second reason, and it is even more annoying. By the time you need self-control the most, your brain has almost none left. All day, you make decisions. What to wear, what to eat, what to answer first, whether to reply with sounds good or perfect, even though nothing is perfect and everyone knows it, whether to speak in the meeting or preserve what remains of your spirit. Each decision is small, but your brain still has to regulate itself. It has to suppress impulses, manage emotions, switch tasks, stay polite, ignore distractions, and pretend that the spreadsheet is spiritually meaningful. By nighttime, the part of you responsible for long-term planning is tired. The responsible version of you knows that sleep matters. It understands that tomorrow's mood, focus, appetite, memory, and basic ability to resemble a person all depend on going to bed. But the tired version of you is in charge now. And the tired version has a very simple political platform. One more video. This is why bedtime is such a bad time to negotiate with yourself. You are asking the most depleted version of your brain to make a decision that benefits a future version of you. That is like asking a hungry person to meal prep. The logic is there. The emotional capacity is not. Your brain knows that sleeping now would make tomorrow better. But tomorrow is abstract. Tomorrow is a concept. Tomorrow is just a rumor with an alarm clock. The phone, on the other hand, is immediate. It gives you something right now. A joke, a sound, a bright color, a tiny hit of novelty. Your brain loves novelty. It evolved to pay attention to new things because, for most of human history, new things mattered. A rustle in the grass could be food, danger, weather, or another human being doing something socially complicated. Now, the rustle in the grass is a notification from an app you forgot you installed. But the system still works. Every swipe gives your brain a chance at something new. Maybe the next video will be funnier. Maybe the next post will be useful. Maybe the next comment will be so unbelievably wrong that you have to keep reading for scientific reasons. This is the third reason sleep loses. Modern apps are built around variable reward. You do not know what the next swipe will bring. Most of it is forgettable. Some of it is irritating. But every now and then, something hits. A joke lands perfectly. A video explains something you did not know. A stranger has a take so chaotic it briefly replaces your problems with theirs. That unpredictability is powerful. If every video were equally good, you would get bored faster. But because the next one might be good, your brain keeps pulling the lever. This is the same basic structure that makes slot machines so hard to walk away from. You are not addicted to any one result. You are hooked by the possibility of the next result. Your thumb becomes a tiny casino employee. And unlike a real casino, this one fits under your pillow and does not require pants. The problem is that sleep cannot compete with this. Sleep is incredibly important, but it is not flashy. Sleep does not send a notification saying, "Congratulations, your hippocampus has successfully consolidated memories." Sleep does not show you a progress bar for emotional regulation. Sleep does not give you a badge for not ruining tomorrow. Sleep works quietly. It repairs. It organizes. It clears waste from the brain. It balances hormones. It helps regulate mood. It strengthens memory. It does some of the most important maintenance your body can perform. But it markets itself terribly. Meanwhile, your phone is glowing in the dark like a small rectangular demon saying, "What if there is one more thing?" And there is always one more thing. This is where the story becomes bigger than sleep. Because your bedtime problem is not really contained inside bedtime. It begins much earlier. It begins with the way your day is structured. With the feeling that your attention is constantly being rented out. With the fact that every hour has a purpose, every pause gets filled, and every quiet moment becomes available inventory for someone else's message, request, update, or emergency that somehow involves you. Humans did not evolve for this. For most of human history, night was not a second shift. Darkness changed what was possible. Work slowed. Movement became harder. The world got quiet because it had no choice. Firelight, conversation, rest, sleep. The body had signals, and the environment supported them. Then we invented artificial light. At first, this was a miracle. Suddenly, night was usable. You could read, work, gather, build, travel, and extend the day beyond sunset. Civilization gained hours. But the body did not fully get the memo. Your brain still uses light as a signal. Darkness tells it to prepare for sleep. Bright light tells it to stay alert. And now, every night, you hold a bright little sun 6 inches from your face and wonder why you do not feel sleepy. This is not a moral failure. It is bad interface design between biology and civilization. Your body is trying to run ancient sleep software in a world with Wi-Fi. And the modern world does not just keep you awake with light. It keeps you awake with unfinished loops. Unread messages, open tabs, half-answered emails, news you cannot fix, people you have not responded to, tasks you meant to do, things you should have said differently, things you should not have said at all. The mysterious memory of something embarrassing you did in 2014, arriving exactly when you were about to relax. Your brain hates unfinished business. At night, when the noise drops, It starts processing everything you pushed aside during the day. That is why the moment your head touches the pillow, your mind suddenly becomes a very poorly managed committee meeting. One part remembers a deadline. One part replays a conversation. One part asks if your life is going in the right direction. One part starts singing a song you heard once in a grocery store. And somewhere in the middle of all that, the phone offers escape. Not peace. Escape. That distinction matters. A lot of nighttime scrolling is not pleasure. It is avoidance wearing pajamas. You are avoiding tomorrow. Avoiding silence. Avoiding thoughts. Avoiding the strange discomfort of being alone with your own mind after a day spent performing usefulness for everyone else. The screen gives you a way out. It lets you stay awake without having to think too deeply about why you do not want the day to end. This is why the advice just go to bed earlier often fails. It treats sleep procrastination like a scheduling error. But for many people, it is an emotional trade. You trade tomorrow's energy for tonight's autonomy. You trade morning clarity for midnight control. You trade rest for the feeling that, for a little while, nobody owns you. The problem is that the trade gets more expensive every time you make it. The less you sleep, the worse tomorrow feels. The worse tomorrow feels, the more you crave relief at night. The more you crave relief, the later you stay up. And the later you stay up, the more tomorrow becomes exactly the kind of day you need revenge from. It becomes a loop. A tired day creates a stolen night. A stolen night creates a tired day. And somewhere inside that loop is you, at 1:17 a.m., watching a video of a man restoring a table you do not own, in a country you have never visited, with tools you cannot name. But it feels calming, because at least the table is getting fixed. So what do you do with this? Not the fake answer. Not the version where you become a perfect person tomorrow, delete every app, meditate for 40 minutes, drink herbal tea, and sleep peacefully, like a monk, with excellent broadband. The real answer starts with understanding what the behavior is doing for you. If staying up late is your only private time, the solution is not just more discipline. It is finding a way to make the day feel less completely stolen. That might mean protecting a small amount of real personal time earlier in the evening. Not productive time. Not self-improvement time. Not a side hustle wearing a fake mustache. Actual time that belongs to no one else. It might mean creating a shutdown ritual so your brain understands the day is finished. Not just collapsing into bed with 37 mental browser tabs still open. It might mean putting the phone farther away, not because you are weak, but because tired brains are terrible lawyers. If the phone is within reach, the phone will win. It has billions of dollars and an entire industry on its side. Your sleepy willpower has a blanket. But most importantly, it means seeing the behavior clearly. You are not staying up because you do not understand sleep. You understand sleep perfectly. You know what will happen tomorrow. You have lived through tomorrow many times. You know the alarm will sound like a personal attack. You know coffee will become less of a beverage and more of a medical device. You know. And still, you stay awake. Because the part of you making the choice is not asking, what is healthiest? It is asking, when do I get to be mine? That is the real question hidden underneath revenge bedtime procrastination. Not, why am I so bad at sleeping? But why does the only part of my day that feels free begin when I should already be unconscious? Once you see that, the problem changes shape. It is no longer just a battle between discipline and laziness. It is a negotiation between your need for rest and your need for control. And both are real. You need sleep. Deeply. Non-negotiably. Your body is not being dramatic. It is not sending those tired signals for decoration. But you also need a life that does not make rest feel like giving up the only freedom you have left. That is why the phone is so hard to put down. Not because the next video is worth it. It usually is not. The next video is probably a stranger explaining why everyone has been cutting onions wrong. And somehow you will watch it with the focus of a medieval scholar translating forbidden texts. But underneath that absurdity is something very human. A tired person trying to feel in control. A brain built for darkness and rest, trapped in a world that turned night into bonus time. A body asking to recover, and a mind saying, "Wait, not yet. I just got here." So, the next time it is late and you find yourself reaching for one more video, do not start by calling yourself lazy. Ask what you are trying to take back. Because you are not really fighting sleep. You are fighting the feeling that the day ended before you ever got to live in it. And every night, sleep asks you to let go. But letting go is hard when the only thing you are holding is the first quiet moment that finally felt like yours.